Welcome to the Transforming Lives panel podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Sharmin Prince.
And I am your other host, Mitzi Dadoun.
And before we continue, just join us in a brief breathing exercise so that we can be grounded and centered with each other. Now take a deep breath in and let it out slowly. Deep breath in, hold it, and let it go slowly. Deep breath in, hold it, and let it go. Deep breath in, hold it, and on the exhale, just let go of everything that did not serve you today. Deep breath in and out. One last time, in and out. Thank you for being grounded with us. Thank you for being here. Today, our guest is Billy Mandarino, who is a best-selling author, speaker, and dedicated Nowist, guiding people to unlock the power of present moment awareness. His groundbreaking book, The Nowist, distills profound wisdom from his personal journey, offering readers a transformative path to abundance, fearlessness, and infinite possibility. Billy's mission is to help others break free from the constraints of time, stress, and limitation, teaching them how to embrace their true, limitless selves. With a unique and engaging approach, he reveals how living fully in the now is the key to creating an extraordinary life. Join us as Billy shares his inspiring insights on how to shift from fear to freedom and step into your highest potential. Welcome, Billy. Would you like to add anything to your bio?
Mitzi, you're a light of the world. Sharmin, you are an equal light of the world. I love you both. I know you that well, but I feel like there is no disconnection between the spirit and the energy field that connects everyone. And I thank you for bringing us all into that presence, Sharmin.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Yes, it's a physical deprivation of food and nutrients for your body, but what it fed my soul and then what showed up afterwards. I can't wait for more people to experience what I experienced by attempting to do this, but also study up what it means to do a 3-day water fast, how it can affect you. But I live my regular life, Mitzi, to answer your question. I just live my regular life. But when you have the power, this cellular restructuring of your body, the stem cells in your body just explode. You get all this nutrients and this cleaning out of your system. But more importantly, your subconscious programming is interrupted. And all of a sudden, your new point of attraction, you've made a vacuum, a place for something new to come in. So what I did, I replaced that old feeling that I had that I was just so deep. I knew there was something in there. I'm just going to surrender. The Carlos Castaneda called it the active side of infinity. I just surrendered to what was next. My intentions were just to the highest and best good. Subconsciously, I know what I want in the life. I know what I need to bring into my life. I just detached from it as a physical attachment where I just really have to work harder to make it happen. It was more like I'm going to surrender and let go and let God.
And have you done that same process previously, or was this the first time you'd done that particular process?
Never. I've been a devout, spiritually hungry being since I was 20 years old. I mean, I'm 57, 37 years. I didn't go to college, but I feel like I have a spiritual degree and it's like a doctorate in spirituality because I've read so many books, I've taught so many people, been around the world speaking, teaching to kids, adults, groups. My results kind of are, I guess, my PhD. And what it's come from is just literally listening to my intuition, listening to how it is that I should serve people. And then if you build it, they will come, and just to be available and to surrender to what is next. I love Prince. Prince just had his birthday yesterday. Now, he's my favorite artist of all time. He said his favorite song was the next one.
How do you handle fear? Or I should say, if the ego tries to pull you out of the now, what's that real time, instantaneous practice that helps you to overcome the fear and suppress or just deny the ego?
Sharman, I love that question. I get it frequently. I think we live in this physical world. We're caught up in physical time, so we think about physical ways to solve our problems. There's a spiritual solution to every problem you have ever had in your life. It's a book Dr. Wayne wrote. There's a spiritual solution to every problem. Look it up. It's a great book. He's one of my soul brothers. I never met him, but he's one of my greatest teachers. And fear for me is twofold, two prongs. First, I learned that it was FEAR, false evidence appearing real. I learned that from Tony Robbins back in 1989. That stuck with me for long. It's false evidence. Okay, so don't give it the attention. It's false. It's erroneous. It's a lie. The ego is trying to fool me. And once again, ego is ego, edging God out. But what I learned in my nowest teachings and my nowest practice, living this way for over a decade now, is that my imagination is the sharpest knife to cut fear and doubt out of my life. I'm going to say it again because it's a simple, it rhymes, but to me, it's in the book. It's a powerful modality to help you get out of fear and out of the ego's trappings. Your imagination's the sharpest knife to cut fear and doubt out of your life. So if you can take a situation, I've done this many times, fearful about something, fearful for my daughter, she's going off to college this summer, fearful, worrying about what could happen. I actually had some physical health during COVID. I was paralyzed. I was in the hospital for 21 days, had to learn to walk again, had to learn to speak again. My wife and daughter didn't see me for 21 days. I am claustrophobic. I had spent 4.5 hours in an MRI tube without drugs. How did I survive that fear? My imagination is the sharpest knife. So I allowed myself in that confinement. Talk about fear. That was a visceral fear. You'd think this spiritual guy, he shouldn't be afraid of being claustrophobic for whatever reason. There is some subconscious trauma in there, maybe from other lives. But I was in either of you been in an MRI tube before?
Yes.
Are you fine with that? Are you claustrophobic or can you handle it?
Didn't love it, but made it through.
So 4.5 hours. Imagine being in that tube for 4.5 hours and not being able to come out because I was paralyzed and they didn't know what was wrong with me during COVID. It was 21. My wife turned 50 years old. I took her to Florida for her birthday. We both came back with COVID. My wife and daughter were fine. I was in this bed for about 14 days, had 102 fever that would not break. Eventually, it paralyzed me. So they took me to the hospital. Turns out that I got Guillain-Barré syndrome from COVID. I was the first person in our county with 460,000 people to get Guillain-Barré syndrome from COVID. Guillain-Barré syndrome is when your own immune system eats the myelin sheath around your nerves and paralyzes you. So I was paralyzed, and these doctors did not know what was wrong with me. They put me in an MRI tube, and they said, we need to get every picture possible of your body because we don't know what's wrong with you. So I had to chant, meditate, prayer, sing for 4.5 hours to survive this. But what I did was I put my imagination in full effect. I imagined I was 3 miles above the earth. I was hovering. I was out of my body. I went quantum. I was literally up there for that whole time, seeing the blue earth, seeing the stars, seeing my highest self covering the earth with prayers and blessing and peace and sending blue light over the planet. I just thought if I can get better, I want to give people that feeling of getting better, of feeling better. So I just gave it away. They say you want to get what you want, you just give it away. And I just thought, how am I going to survive this? And I knew intuitively that's what I had to do. So to get out of fear, it's false evidence appearing real. It's just a thought. I can't breathe. I can't move. If I have an itch, I can't move. I'm just, all these negative things took my mind. But my imagination let me live out of physical time. I was above the earth. And that, for the most fearful moment of my life, then being paralyzed for 21 days, having to walk again, learn to walk. I couldn't talk. I almost ventilated me because I couldn't swallow. Because Guillain-Barré syndrome just takes all the motor skills of your body. And that was just 4 years ago. So to me, bless your problems. They are your spiritual practice. God brought this into my life, this traumatic thing, so I could learn to help people get out of fear, doubt, overwhelm, and find the present moment as the most powerful time that they have in their day to spend with God.
Hmm. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And as you're speaking, a thought just popped in my head that if this present moment is all there is, and we can meet the equilibrium of the cross, right? How do we explain trauma? How do we explain PTSD? Where for some people it's inescapable. They're crippled by it. It's real.
That is the question I get frequently as well, because speaking of the past, the power of the past, and the power of your story, and how there's so much energy attached to that. My wife's grandmother passed at 99 a few years ago. And she was reading my book. She was studying some of the teachings. And we'd have these wonderful talks, at the twilight of her life. And she thought, my now is terrible. My now sucks. Like, why do I want to spend all my time here in the present moment? All I have is my memories. All I have is the hope that I will pass soon, because I'm not happy in this body anymore. And
Mm,
it really challenged me to sit there with her, hold her hands in both. And I said, we called her Perky. Her name's Loretta, but her nickname was Perky. I said, let's just pray in a moment. Let's just pray for some guidance. We took each other's hands and we just sat in silence. I said, Perky, in this moment, what are you feeling? Are you feeling separate from God? Do you feel like, that your memories are the most powerful thing that you have to attach to? Are you worried about when you're going to pass? I didn't have the answer for it, to be honest. I'm a spiritual being living in a physical body. All right. We're temporarily here. And our job is to figure it out. I just feel like I found a playbook in the sense of getting out of physical time, because there is so much trauma and deep trauma. Oh my gosh, I have so much love for the soldiers that have gone through this PTSD, for people that have been abused severely, emotionally, spiritually, sexually. There's so much trauma. And I work with a lot of these folks. And the only thing we can do is ask for God's grace, to ask for the awareness, and to follow the spiritual breadcrumbs that show up to teach us what to do in that next moment. There is no cookie cutter answer that fixes that, because there's so much trauma that I can't even scratch the surface of how to even deal with that when they're having nightmares from seeing their friends being killed, or cities destroyed, or earthquakes, or famines, all these terrible things that people have had to go through. I just look for God's grace, but I find that God exists in this present moment. If you can connect to it, that energy will help you. The divine energy will help you figure out how to cope with it. But that physical time is, they say that this is the earth school, right? This is the earth school. And they say it's the most difficult school in the universe to go through. Angels, other beings, is the most challenging school, because we have to wake up to our God consciousness, our Buddha nature, Christ consciousness. And we have to go. That's me being paralyzed, having to learn to walk again, not seeing my family for 21 days, not knowing if I was going to live or die. That's a trauma that I had to deal with. But I can tell you the only way I dealt with it was the power of living in service through that trauma and knowing it happened to me for a reason. I believe even the bad things are here to service. There's a message in there, there's a teaching in there. I just learned to make them my spiritual practice. And as I work with people, eventually we get to the point, maybe on week 7 or 8, where we're just talking about how can you use things in your life to serve other people, traumas, shortcomings, feeling wronged. How can you use this as your spiritual practice?
okay.
Could you share with us, you mentioned that the 1 minute mantra, the four prayers. I think it would be really wonderful for our listeners to hear that, if you wouldn't mind sharing
Sure.
it with us.
Yes. This is literally scratching the surface of it. I'll tell you the four prayers, but to go deeper, there's a mudra, which is an arm motion. There's a breath connected to it, and there's the most powerful section of mudra mantra meditation. The Novice meditation is how you connect to your imagination of being like I was above the earth, how you can practice yourself into presence, how you can get your subconscious mind to live there. So when you're getting triggered by someone cuts you off, someone steps in front of you in the grocery store, you get a flat tire, somebody cheats on you, steals your money, steals your social security number, how you can connect back to the present moment. I mean, that's all I've learned to do is like, as I feel so uncomfortable for me now, being subconsciously programmed as a now, as a living in this present moment awareness, to get in physical time. I feel so uncomfortable. Whereas most people, that's the 90%. Most people live 90% in the stress and the overwhelm, and 10% they'll go to church, they'll go do a meditation or a yoga class. But I just have lived to invert that. And as I live to invert that, emotional abundance, social abundance, financial, physical ways that I can give to show up in my life. And so the four prayers, Misty, I am that I am, the conquering presence in the now. I have nothing to do, only to be done. I am altogether God, and God is altogether me. I am the light of the world. So when you can connect your breath, the mudra, and your imagination above this planet, and your awareness, and just imagine for a moment, Sharmin and Misty, if you could put your awareness not here in your chairs, not in New York and in Santa Barbara, but if you could put your awareness 3 miles above the planet, if you could just imagine all your awareness up there, could you have physical gravity based problems? You would be up there just in such awe of this gorgeous blue marble and this arc across the planet. You'd see stars, you'd see planets. You'd just be up there in such wonder and awe that you just could not think about anything but how your awareness was divine. Now you were one with those stars and that planet and that energy, and you were divine. So when you could connect a prayer, a mantra, a mudra, a meditation, a breath, all that in one, and you do it in 1 minute and you get good at it. And then you start doing it with your eyes open while you're walking your dog or while you're driving your car. Of course, your hands are on the wheel, you're focused, but you get to do it to such a degree that it becomes part of your subconscious programming. And then when stuff happens, you feel like it's been taken out of the meditation because you live in that meditation most of the time. It becomes your way of life. It's not the only way, it's just the way I have found to live in present moment awareness as a way of life. There's other modalities and precepts, but to me, that's the one that it all points back to. And that was just a prayer that came through me when I was downloading the book, 9 months sitting at my kitchen table, 4:30 in the morning without an alarm clock, getting up and just going there and just letting it all come through without an outline, without a college degree, without anything, but my awareness to connect to this teaching that came through me, not for me. It just came through me so I could give it away. And it's my dharma, it's my purpose. I'm blessed to be a father. Of the greatest thing I'll ever do in my life is have our beautiful daughter, my wife and I. We've been married 30 years, but this teaching is my dharma. We're in the process of making a feature-length film right now about trauma and how to emerge from it, how the Nowist teachings, kind of vibe with that. And that's kind of the current inspiration I have artistically to serve people, because it's all about how can we create and serve people with what we're here to do. I just feel like that's what I'm here to do.
I mean, it is so powerful, and the simplicity of the four prayer. Um, I mean, it can be learned in one sitting, and I really thank you for, accepting the call and sharing with the world. If everyone truly embodies the Taoist teaching, how would society look different and be different?
So the Bible talks about a new heaven and a new earth. Eckhart Tolle's second book was called New Earth. He is kind of tongue in cheek, call him the father of the now. He's currently the most sought after spiritual teacher in the world. Dalai Lama is the second most sought after spiritually enlightened teacher in the world. I think that's a clue that the world is begging to find the present moment as a way of life. The new heaven and new earth, I believe, is here. We're in the times. We are going through the birthing pangs like a monarch butterfly coming from its chrysalis is coming out of that cocoon. We are in the birthing pangs right now. Obviously, there's a lot of famine, strife, stress, overwhelm, unconscious behavior, dark energies in the world right now. But as it says in the Bible, St. Paul says that whatever the light touches becomes light itself. So the last prayer of the Taoist meditation is, I am the light of the world for a reason. It's you to shine your light on the next person. It's me to shine my light on the next person. It's coming from compassion and love and service. Not what's in it for me, but how can I serve?
Um, when people read the Novice, what benefit would they be walking away with?
If they read the book and then they apply the teaching to their own life and the spiritual practice that it is, it's a mantra and a mudra in itself. There's lots of stories in there about how I've gone through challenges and struggles and how I found my way through by present moment awareness, by being of service to other people, by not judging, by seeing God in everybody that I see in an airport. Just, oh, there's a bald heavy set man that's a pilot for a plane. There's God. There's a young mom right there with two little kids screaming. There's God right there. There's a person who looks like they're down on their luck, just looking at their phone, stressed out of their mind. There's God in that incarnation. You're seeing God in everything and everyone, and living in present moment awareness instead of thinking in judgmental ways and worrying about your bills or the next thing you got to do, or the ailing family member you have, and like just living in present moment awareness as a way of life and to be that light for other people. Yes, life is going to happen. I mean, it's hard. This is the hardest earth school for a reason, because we are getting tried, because our job is to awaken to our divine nature and to return to that divine nature. That's the work is literally going through the book, finding the things that you can do regularly. The Taoist meditation to me is the cornerstone of it all, because when you can live it, it's not easy. It sounds like a simple four prayer poem or a mantra or a mudra combination, but ultimately to me, it's all I am. And I am is in that prayer so much, because I am is the name of God. And you are that I am. Mitzi's I am. Sharmin's I am. All the viewers are I am. Everybody has the I am presence within them. How do you use your IMs? And then you can connect a prayer, and doing it with your eyes open, doing a divergent prayer where your eyes are open and doing it while you're walking. I think that might be a next level for a lot of folks listening to this and watching this, trying. And it doesn't have to be the Taoist meditation. It could be whatever meditation serves you. But you can program your subconscious mind while you're in your waking hours. And then before you go to bed, and before you wake up, your brainwave frequencies, as Dr. Joe and all these brilliant scientists have been teaching, you are in theta brainwave frequency. Your subconscious mind is so programmable. What do you think about the last 5 minutes of your day? As Dr. Wayne so brilliantly taught us, you have to program your subconscious mind before you go to sleep, because you're going to marinate in there for 4 hours on whatever you're thinking about. Think about how bad your day was or what you lost or how it's going to be terrible tomorrow. You're just going to program your subconscious mind, and 4 hours of that, hopefully 8 hours of sleep you're getting, are going to be wasted with stressful, worrisome thoughts. This is the programmable part. That's the subconscious. That's the sweet spot. Work on that subconscious and you'll find that this new earth will show up even faster.
Thank you so much. You have left me with a lot of thought-provoking questions. Um, and I'm sure the listeners may feel the same that I'm feeling, because I really think that the novice is there, because we're distracted by the past and we're concerned about the future and we miss the now. So I'm happy that you're here to share this with me, because I need it right now. So thank you.
It's my honor. I feel blessed anytime I get to be on one of these podcasts and to serve people. And you never know, Mitzi and Sharma, who's going to see this a year, 10 years from now. And we're going to be talking about exactly what they needed in this moment. But we don't know, because that's why I love coming on these shows and not having questions, because I believe what comes through is what's meant for people. And who knows when they're going to see it. But I guarantee there's someone that's going to watch us and we're going to be saying something they needed to hear that might help them in a way we couldn't even imagine if we had conspired to kind of think of what's a clever question to ask or what's a great thing to talk about. But I can tell, thank you for Sharmin for breathing us into present moment awareness, that there's so much in this I believe will serve people. And it's all because of three of us, the tripod, that people can be served. So I'm thankful for you both.
You know, and that's very much the way we always do our podcast. We don't do pre and advanced question stuff because it is all about, as you say, being in the here, in the now, and in the moment, and whatever is supposed to come out is going to come out and be there.
And it always does. I've done maybe one podcast where they asked me for questions, but I asked them to scrap the questions because it comes from a place of ego. It came from, I wanted to be clever and smart to serve something. It's like, no, no, if you want to really serve people, just open up with me in this moment. Let's just let it come in. And then we'll talk about, you'll ask whatever he feels like you feel like talking about because somebody else, we're all one. There's no, in the quantum world, they call it quantum entanglement, right? They call it the unified field. Like we're all connected. I'm so excited about that because I get to serve people from a place of squashing the ego. They say, great teachers say, burn the ego up with fire. You don't need it.
There's a lot of people that need to hear that message.
It's the truth. The ego is running the world. That's why the ego can't live in the present moment. It finds it very indigestible.
What would you like to leave with our listeners and viewers?
I just want to say thank you from my most magnetic part of my body, which is my heart, which is connected to the soul. I just thank you both for this really turned on, switched in conversation. I brought a lot of good things through your beautiful questions to people that we get to serve. We get to be the light for people in this. And I'm just grateful. But if you want to find out more about the teaching, about the upcoming movie we're working on, you go to billymandarino.com, my name.com. And it all links out to all of our social media. We've got, like I said, almost 600 videos for free on my YouTube channel. And then we've got LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram. But if you want to find out what our film is about, you go to fornowfilm.com, FORNOW film.com, and you can see what our movie's about. It's helping people emerge from trauma. And that's the greater mission I have with the Now, is to help people in trauma, because I don't know if you know, but 2/3 of the planet has an unresolved trauma they don't even know they have because it's subconscious.
Thank you once again for being here.